Good afternoon, boys and girls, and welcome to another album review. What are we going to review today? Well, we're going to review this album. This album. That's right. I have this album on two formats, both CD and vinyl. It's time to do a Who album review after years of not ever doing one. And it's about time I did. I'll have you know that I am a huge Who fan. I believe that they are one of the greatest bands in the world. Pete Townshend's guitar playing and songwriting has really spoken to me. He's definitely an icon to me. I basically like a lot of what they do. So we're going to talk about, put that over here for now. We're going to talk about The Who's 1982's album, It's Hard. It came out, this is the last Who album for 24 years. They hadn't put out one until 2006, which was Endless Wire. And we're going to start, and I want to give a little brief history about how I got into this album. This was the first Who album I ever got. My brother gave it to me because he knew I really liked The Who, and he let me have the record. That record that I just showed you is not the exact same record, but I have since re-bought it on vinyl. I bought it a while back, and I've had the CD for a while. So I do have two formats to listen to this in. It's one of the few albums I own that I have both the CD and vinyl format. So let's get on with the album. The Who's It's Hard. It starts off with Athena, and you hear that signature guitar riffage, I guess you'd call that. Pete Townsend does, and you hear the cymbals by Kenny Jones. And then there's a fiery drum part, guitar part, and bass part, and then Roger starts singing, he starts getting into the song. And this is a really good pop one. This is a good pop song. I like this one quite a bit. It opens the album very well. And I think this was actually a single from the album too. I believe this was released as a single. But this is a very strong song on the album. It starts off very well. It's Your Turn, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was a song written by Entwistle, the late great bassist, best bass player of all time, John Entwistle. It's Your Turn. That's got some keyboards in this one, and guitar, and I actually like the drumming by Kenny Jones on this album. A lot of people said he probably wasn't right for The Who, but I think he's a pretty good drummer. I think he does well on this album. But yeah, It's Your Turn is definitely a very, very strong song. I really like It's Your Turn. Then we go into Cooks County, which is pretty catchy. It's got this percussion, this simple kind of percussion with some drum fills, and this kind of wangy guitar, and Roger Daltrey just belting out on the vocals, going, "People are suffering," and then it goes into this kind of rocking part. That's kind of hard to explain, but you've got to hear. Look up Cooks County on YouTube. I definitely recommend you check this one out. It's really good. But yeah, Cooks County is another great one of my favorites. Then we get on to It's Hard by the actual title song, It's Hard. This one's very strong. This is another strong song. I really like this one quite a bit. It's kind of like Roger Daltrey kind of listing off things in this one. But there's some keyboards in this, and I like the guitar riffage in this one, and the drums are really good. I like Kenny's drumming in this. The bass is good. And I like Roger Daltrey's vocal delivery. One thing I had read about with this album is Roger Daltrey absolutely hated this album. I don't know why. I don't know really what his thing. I think Townsend loved it, but Roger Daltrey hated this album. And that's a shame because I think this is a great record. I really do. And to be honest with you, this was my first exposure to The Who. I remember seeing Eminence Front on MTV. The video, it was all over MTV back in '82. So that was the Who to me. I didn't know about My Generation or Pinball Wizard or any of that until after I heard Eminence Front. We go on to Dangerous. This starts off kind of builds up. It starts off kind of slow and then it gets rocking. Pretty good song. Yeah, so the first half of the record is actually very, very strong. And then we get on to the song that everyone knows. You still hear this on the radio. Eminence Front. Starts off with sounds like a drum machine, percussion, and then the signature Who synthesizer programmed by Pete Townsend. Yeah, kind of reminiscent of Baba O'Reilly, how he started doing that back then. And then the drums go in, Kenny goes bump bump, and then you get that guitar part down, 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 that very catchy guitar part that Pete Townsend's playing. And this is a song that Pete Townsend sings lead on. And he sounds great. His voice sounds really great on this. But yeah, Eminence Front, always one of my favorite Who songs. I love it. I love, love, love Eminence Front. Maybe because it was probably the first Who song I ever heard, at least that I knew was the Who. So Eminence Front's definitely very, very strong. So if we were to flip the record over, this being the album cover, I don't have the record with me because it's on the turntable right now. Flip the record over, and you've got I've Known No War, a song that fades in. You can hear like it's like a keyboard, and then the drums being very simple, and then all of a sudden Roger Daltrey just belts out I've Known No War. Very, very fiery performance with his vocals on this one. Very, very good, stellar song on I've Known No War. So this starts off side 2 pretty good. Really like it. Next is a ballad called One Life's Enough, which is just piano and Roger Daltrey singing. And it's the shortest on the album. It's okay. This one, it's not a bad song. This one doesn't really do a whole lot for me. I'm not a big fan of One Life's Enough. But it's, like I said, it's a shorter song, so pretty much over before you know it. Then we go into another John Entwistle composition, One at a Time, which opens with brass, with him playing horns, I guess French horns or whatever. And then the drums kick in, it's a rocking song, and he's singing this, and his vocal delivery is great on this. He's like yelling just at the top of his lungs, and just very energetic when he sings. This is a really great song by Entwistle. I really like One at a Time. Why Did I Fall for That? This one's a mellower one and kind of poppy. And it's pretty good. I like Why Did I Fall for That song. I like how Townsend and Daltrey are, and maybe even Entwistle, are harmonizing on the chorus. But Why Did I Fall for That's pretty good. A Man Is a Man is a slow, mellow one, but this is one of my favorites. I really like this song, and the chorus is really strong in this. I really like how the harmonies sound in the chorus. The vocal delivery is really good. A Man Is a Man's one I've always liked. And then the album ends with Cry If You Want, which has a guitar riff in it. It's got this kind of, that's hard to explain, but to be honest with you, I never really got into Cry If You Want. I just never, it's okay, but this song just never really hit me. I was just never that into Cry If You Want. But as I've said, I mean, most of this album's pretty killer. I really do like It's Hard a lot. I think this is actually a really great album. But like I said, it was the first Who album I got. I got it on vinyl, and then eventually, years later, I got it on CD, and then I rebought the vinyl. So it's one I pull out. I still like to listen to It's Hard. I listened to it last night so I could give a thorough review. But yeah, I've heard this probably about 10,000 times. So to grade this album, I think I want to give this an, well, no, I'll just say I'm going to give this an A minus. I think this is in my opinion, I know some Who fans won't like this one, maybe because this is after Keith Moon had passed on. But I still like it, and like I said, it was my first exposure, so I mean, I guess I don't know if I'm being biased or not, but this is my first Who album, so I do like it. But A minus, I will give the minus for I'm not into One Life's Enough and Cry If You Want. But all the other songs I mentioned are great. I mean, Eminence Front is of course amazing. It's Hard is one of my favorite songs. I love the song It's Hard. But yeah, I'd say It's Hard by The Who definitely gets an A minus. That's a good grade in my opinion. So if you're a Who fan, tell me what you think of The Who's It's Hard. Leave a comment down there in the box. Subscribe if you'd like. Tell me what you thought of this album. Tell me how this album affected you. If you liked it, where you were at the time. But yeah, that's my first Who review, and it's been way too long since I've ever done one. I've never done a Who review, and I was excited to do one because I am a huge fan. I became a huge Who fan in '89 when they did their, I guess it was their first reunion tour, and that was when I got It's Hard. Was that time my brother gave me the vinyl of It's Hard. So there's my love for this album. It's Hard, 1982, gets an A minus. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, all you hooligans. Appreciate it. And I'll be pretty busy doing some more album reviews, and I'll see what else I have in my head right up here, right under this hat. Okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you later on the next YouTube. Goodbye.